Hello and welcome to the Run Testers. My name's Nick and this is our full review of the Kiprun KD900X.2. So the KD900X.2 is the affordable carbon plate running shoe within the Kiprun range. It sits below models like the KD900X.LD and the Kipstorm Lab and comes in at a really good price for what is a very lightweight and effective, fast running shoe that has a full midsole stack, decent foam in the midsole, carbon plate. There's a lot of great ingredients in this shoe and it's all coming in at a very good price of £120 in the UK and €130 in Europe. There's no indication about the US availability, but here in the UK this is a shoe that's already been on sale I've seen for under £100, and like I say, it is exceptional value. I think it weighs in at just 205 grams or 7.2 ounces in a UK 8.5. That's a US 9.5 and EU 43, and you've got a stack height of 40mm at the heel, 32mm at the forefoot for an 8mm drop. So when it comes to the design of the Kiprun KD900X.2, you've got a very thin and lightweight upper, a little bit of reinforcement around the toe box area of it, but it's very breathable and light as you'd expect. A bit of padding around the back of the shoe. This isn't an uncomfortable upper by any means, but mostly it's geared up to be lightweight and fast. Midsole, you've got a full V-foam midsole with a carbon plate running through it. In this case, I believe the V-foam version used is an aliphatic TPU based on what I can see online, but you certainly got a lightweight, responsive, impressive foam in there, whatever it's made of. Then you've got a rubber outsole that covers most of the bottom of the shoe. There is a small cutout in the midfoot that shows off the carbon plate, but you've actually got pretty extensive rubber coverage, I would say, here for a very lightweight, race or fast running focus shoe like this. When it comes to fit of the KD900X.2, I've got half size down on my normal UK size. I'm wearing an 8.5 here. I usually wear a UK 9. That is a US 9.5 though, which is a size I do tend to use sometimes. I'm in between sizes, but it's also size down on my normal EU size. So in general, I would say go half size down with the Kiprun KD900X.2. In general, I think with Decathlon/Kiprun shoes, going half size down is the way to go. There is a tool on the website that allows you to enter your foot size in centimeters to help you get the right kind of size, and I would use that if I were you to get the best possible size with the Kiprun KD900X.2. It's a really long name, that I'm not going to keep saying that. And then once you have got the right size, it's a really good fit, I would say. I've had some problems with Decathlon shoes in the past not being very comfortable around the upper, either irritating my heel or the top of my the arch of my foot, just underneath the ankle sometimes, bits of plastic. But this is a really simple upper. It's been effective in holding my foot in place, and I've had no comfort issues at all with rubbing in any part of my foot. So yeah, get the right fit, I reckon, by going half size down or using that sizing tool, and then you're going to be good to go. I think this is a lightweight upper, a race focused upper, but a comfortable one. So I've done about 70 kilometers in the Kiprun KD900X.2, using it for a variety of runs, mostly pretty fast workouts, including a couple of workouts that I featured in the first run video on a double day when I was doing threshold kind running, so threshold K reps and then a 10K steady. I've also done a faster workout just this morning in the shoe, running a pretty fast mile and then 400-meter reps at around 75-second pace with fairly minimal recovery, and I've also done some more daily training style running in it as well to see if it has the potential to be an all-rounder. So first thing to say, this is a fast shoe. It is a really fast shoe. It's very light. You've got a very poppy and responsive ride here that you can feel the punch from the plate, and the foam is really geared up for fast running in general. For me, this is definitely a dedicated speed shoe or a racing shoe. I have done some more general daily training in it, and it's not the worst for that, but I don't really view this as an all-rounder. This is a bit too lightweight and punchy for me to be using for regular runs. This is very much a speed focused shoe and it does that job really well. So the level of performance you get here I think is really high for the price in particular. This feels like maybe a slightly earlier generation top carbon plate racing shoe. So while right now there's some extremely good shoes at the top end of the market that have very bouncy and propulsive rides, I think they do have slightly more impressive foams than you're getting here on the KD900X.2, including from Kiprun themselves with the Kipstorm Lab, where you're getting slightly lighter shoes, maybe more aggressively punchy shoes like the Metaspeed Edge series, or really squishy shoes like the Endorphin Elite or the Metaspeed Ray from Asics, and those are all top of the range shoes. But this feels like something like the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite, the original version of that shoe, in that you've got a good foam in the midsole here that is providing a responsive ride. It's not sinky and squishily soft or anything like that. You don't feel quite as much explosive bounce as from some shoes, but you get a very fast turnover and you get a lot of pop from the foam and the plate in combination, and it really has felt very good for me at speed, and akin to the level of performance you're getting from really good racers at a much more affordable price. And I've enjoyed it for a variety of those kind of fast runs. So you've got that very lightweight design, and that firmer feel gives it a really fast turnover for stuff like 400-meter reps or even going up to K reps. But then it has also got that kind of efficiency boost that makes it easier to hold fast paces over long periods. Like when I did that 10K steady in the shoe, it felt very nice just ticking along in this. It's not really rockered like some shoes out there or as smooth as them, but it does just turn over really neatly. And it's a very simple, I think, fast shoe in its sense. Like, it has got quite a traditional feel almost to it, and actually that helps with a bit of stability as well because it isn't so squishy and soft. But yeah, it just, you can snap through from heel to toe, get a nice bit of punch off the toes, and just works very well. And you're getting the benefits from the, the impressive foam in here and the carbon plate without it feeling too wildly crazy like some carbon shoes out there. Also, when I did that double day in the shoe, I did find that it got a bit of the kind of leg saving benefits that you expect from impressive carbon plate racing shoes like this. Like, did do 2 workouts on the day, 20k of fast running across the 2 workouts, plus warm-ups, cool downs. And while it isn't as soft and doesn't have quite as cushioned a feeling as some of the carbon plate races out there, my legs felt pretty good the next day in the way you expect from using a shoe like this. Then when I used it for more kind of daily training stuff, I did a couple of easy to steady runs in it where I moved from very relaxed pace up towards kind of just shy of tempo paces really, and that's why I didn't like it quite as much. Like, it was still fine for it, like it wasn't too firm or aggressive or anything like that, but it's just not the kind of shoe that I would use for those kind of runs. Like, I prefer a more standard daily trainer, something like the Velocity Nitro 4 or New Balance Rebel, just kind of a pretty generic. Adidas Evo SL is perfect for those kind of runs actually. Yeah, the kind of lightweight daily trainery thing that doesn't necessarily have a full plate. It has a slightly more cushioned feel to it, and some people have posited the shoe as a really good all-rounder. I think you can use it for everything. It just wouldn't be my choice for everything, definitely. I prefer a more cushioned ride for easy stuff. I'd be reserving this for speed days because it does have that snappy, fast feel, and that's when it really shines best for me. But when it comes to those runs, I think it's really good. And while it wouldn't be like my first choice racing shoe, I would go for one of the really expensive, great carbon plate racing shoes out there that we're privileged to test and I really enjoy using. I do think you get a bit more from them in terms of punch and propulsion. I do think this would be a very good racing shoe if you are on more of a budget and don't want to spend like £250 on a racing shoe, and it really excels most for me as a speed shoe / kind of secondary racer that you might use for things like park run or races where you're not quite so fussed about going for your A goals, and then you might then save your very expensive racing shoe for those biggest races. So my verdict on the Kiprun KD900X.2, I think this is a cracking shoe, one of the favourite shoes I've tested throughout the year. It's just a really affordable and impressive speed day shoe for sure. And while it wouldn't be my favourite racing shoe, as I mentioned in the run test, I'd go for something like the Meta Speed Sky Tokyo, the Kipstorm Lab I prefer to this shoe. It would be a very good racing shoe if you do want to pick it up and use it for that and don't want to spend loads and loads of money. And it is really impressive as a speed shoe you can add to a rotation at a really good price. Now, I think this is a shoe for runners with a rotation though. Like, I don't think this is a shoe I'd pick up to do everything in. As I mentioned in the run test, I don't think it's quite as comfortable enough to do all-rounder training in it. I prefer a more cushy plated super trainer for that, even if it's a fair bit heavier. Something like the Hoka Mach X3, the Nike Zoom Fly 6. Like, those shoes have a bit more of a relaxed ride at easy paces and provide a bit more support. This has the snappy all-out feel of a racing shoe, and I'd be using it for speed sessions primarily. And if you're someone who does a couple of those a week and you do have a dedicated speed shoe on your rotation, this is about as good a pick as it gets, I think, in terms of value for money and performance, because it's going to outperform those slightly bulkier super trainers I talk about when it comes to the fast runs. Like, it's a faster shoe than things like the Endorphin Speed 5 or the Hoka Mach X3, and it does a better job as a stand-in racing shoe as well than if you are going to use it for some races, things like park run, that kind of thing, like I mentioned. So I do think it's a very impressive dedicated speed shoe, and would be similar, I guess, in some ways to shoes like the Takumi Sen from Adidas. I haven't tested the latest model of that, but I have really liked that shoe in the past. But even that is a lot more expensive than this, and you're getting a fantastic leather performance here from a very lightweight, simple speed shoe that doesn't feel so crazy to pull on for your speed workouts. So, like, if you are using kind of carbon plate shoes for your workouts, the top models, and sometimes it feels a bit much just to go out and do your kind of threshold workout or a few reps at the track. This just feels perfect for it in terms of price. Durability is going to be good as well, because Decathlon always do pretty well on that front. So yeah, very good option for people who have a rotation, who do a lot of fast running, who want a dedicated speed shoe in there, or as your only racing shoe if you don't want to spend 250 quid on a racing shoe. I think even with sales on previous top models, like shoes that often come down in price, things like Adios Pro 4 is often in sales and that kind of thing, and even older models from Saucony and Adidas, I think, are usually very well reduced. I still don't think they're hitting the price of this shoe. So I do think it's probably going to be about the fastest shoe you can find for its price. And, it is a really fast shoe. You'd be happy racing in this, even if there are shoes that offer additional benefits in terms of more impressive foams, like the Kipstorm Lab and the Asics, like I've been talking about. So yeah, I think it's a really good all-round shoe. For me, it's a perfect option for a speed shoe in a rotation, or like I say, as a more affordable racing option. So certainly a really good shoe, and yeah, one of the better value options I've come across this year, especially in this fast running / racing category. That's a review of the Kiprun KD900X.2. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Please do like and subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.